New Hampshire Muslim refugee charged with sexual assaulting 4 girls, including 7-year-old. Look at this guy. They always say to the police, under Quran, under Sharia, whore wearing shorts. I rape whore. Whore go jail. And police go, well, that's not the law here. I rape whore. I see old whore walking filthy dog. I beat whore. We are back live, ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting worldwide on this Friday edition. Here are some of the headlines up on Infowars.com. Illuminati-themed fashion show held at London Catholic Church. I'm going to get more into that and break down the images for radio listeners. Also, Buchanan, Trump devastation of globalism at UN eclipsed by sensational Rocket Man lines. And I agree. The fact that he called out globalism and collectivism and talked about nationalism is seminal and is just simply amazing. Trump, American Gaullist. So we're going to get into what that means historically as well. Uber, ladies and gentlemen, has been banned in London. Uber and Out, ride-sharing service banned in London. London strips Uber license. And that is because of mass Islamic raping going on. That is just some of what we're going to be covering in that stack. London says it won't renew Uber's license. Swedish journalist who worked to demystify no-go zones gets shot in the no-go zone. That's right. We've actually paid leftist journalists who say we're liars, saying that you can go into these giant no-go zones in Brussels, Belgium, or Paris, France, or Stockholm, Sweden, and they go and they get physically attacked in minutes. Well, we've shown the video. BBC's been attacked. US TV's been attacked. And I mean at train stations and parks, the Muslims come over and beat you up. You don't see any women out there indoors chained up to the wall. That's all right, though. The left likes that. So the Swedish journalist who worked to demystify no-go zones gets shot in no-go zone. Uber banned in London after sexual assaults by migrant drivers skyrocket. Paul Watson has the full report on that. New Hampshire Muslim refugee charged with sexual assaulting 4 girls, including 7-year-old. Look at this guy. They always say to the police, under Quran, under Sharia, whore wearing shorts. I rape whore. Whore go jail. And police go, well, that's not the law here. I rape whore. I see old whore walking filthy dog. I beat whore. All over the country, just you're walking your dog, unclean animal. I've actually had a Muslim come up to me and tell me that before. I'm not kidding. You know dogs are unclean. This was on the sidewalk like 15 years ago. I was like keeping my dogs on my parents' lab. And I was like, are you kidding? Because the guy knew who I was using it to mess with me. That was back when I guess I just bent over to Islam. I just didn't even know what to say. Oh, he's been charged with sexually assaulting 4 girls, including a 7-year-old. That's right. Muhammad only had a 9-year-old. So, see, you even violated the Quran there, buddy. Now he's in trouble. Look at that whacked out loon. How inbred do you think that guy is? And I'm not being mean. The Appalachians have a lot of problem with inbreeding. I've been to the Appalachians. There's some scary folks there. Some good people as well, but it's pretty scary. And there are white folks that are inbred. And they kind of look like this guy in the eyes. You know, royalty gets inbred, they go insane. And you know that, what was it, like 35% of all deformities in England are the Pakistanis. They're not even 1% of the population. And it's because a lot of the poor Pakistani folks have been inbreeding under Islam. And it's not a good idea to marry, you know, your first cousin or your mom, or, you know, your mom's your sister. Yeah, your mom's your sister. Heard what I just said, didn't you? A lot of you. That's right. There you go. And he's just, see, 7-year-old at the park. It's rape time, baby. It's like liberal. Because it's just loving. It's Islamophobic. Yes, I'm scared of black widows. I'm scared of rattlesnakes. When I go to a dock and I'm about to jump in and it's the springtime and the mating season of water moccasins, I don't just jump right in because I had a buddy in high school, a guy I knew, really wasn't a buddy, got killed jumping in the springtime. And it was a big ball of water moccasins. They kill more people than rattlesnakes, and he got bit 7, 8 times and died. So I'm scared of folks like this. I mean, I sure wouldn't take my daughters and drop them off at a park with a bunch of Islamic men wandering around. Would you? You're an Islamophobe. You got to read this article on Infowars.com from Jihad Watch. Because it's the stuff she said in court. She's a lawyer that attacked people with a machete and golf clubs, stabbed a bunch of people, and then she wouldn't even stand up for the judge and just said, I do not listen to you. I am under Sharia. And even the left doesn't know what to do now because there's so many Islamic attacks. They go, look, we're kissing your butt so hard. Why do you keep killing us? And then because they got kind of a weird right-wing angle that's extreme, they're always like attacking gay nightclubs or liberal areas because, A, they know there's a bunch of disarmed people in there. They're cowards. So they attack folks they know are disarmed. And then, B, that's who they believe in their religion. The strangest thing about the radical Orthodox is Muslims is they respect me. On their main sites and stuff, they say they want to go after me, but they know I understand their plan to take over. And they say, infidel, we know you know our plan. We will get you. But they have respect because they understand I'm aware of their agenda. So there you go. You got to read this article. Female jihad, like moving a mountain of defiance in court. Our laws are not her laws. Her law is Sharia. And you've got to read this. Rahab Dagmash is the Canadian court after being arrested in June following a vicious attack on customers and staff at a Canadian tire outlet with a golf club and a large knife and a bow. In its coverage of the case, the Toronto Star reveals how, in detail, Dagmash's contempt for Canada, its infidel people, and its laws. The report begins, she's not insane, she's intractable. Westerners cannot begin to wrap their heads around how such a woman could not be insane. But she is just manifesting the jihad mindset. And then she goes on in the Toronto Star with quotes from court. These are from her. The Toronto Star's Rosie D'Amano reveals the loyalty to Sharia of Dagmash. Quote, now usually you never see this, but she said this herself, so you get to hear what they say. Our laws are not her laws. Her law is Sharia. Despite the bizarre behavior of Dagmash, Westerners would do well to understand that Islamic supremacists and jihadists have one feature in common. Only one law is to adhere to, the Sharia, and no other law is to be respected since Sharia is regarded as divine law. Western leaders still refuse to acknowledge the truth that Islamic supremacists, the West, is the house of war and must be subjugated to the house of Islam, as the Toronto Star report continues. Last time I witnessed anyone refusing to stand in court, even for a judge's entrance, was a Toronto proceeding involving a member of Canada's notorious Qadar clan. In that instance, mother and sister of the defendant, not Omar, one of his brothers, remained insolently stapled to their seat, presumably to demonstrate their contempt for the Canadian court. The sense of superiority, which is accompanied by the entitlement and divine purpose, is at the core of Islamic supremacism. However, it may be manifested individually or by a group, making it all the more abhorrent that Canadian taxpayer dollars paid an Al-Qaeda fighter, Omar Qadar, $10.5 million in compensation for so-called abuses he suffered as a teenager in the U.S. military detention facility, Guantanamo Bay, after he murdered a young medic, Christopher Spear, and blinded an American soldier, Lane Morris. Case of the woman accused of Canadian tire attack, like moving a mountain of defiance, D'Amano wrote. She's not insane, she's intractable. A psychiatric assessment has found her perfectly mentally fit to stand trial. Our laws are not laws to her. Her law is Sharia law. She worships at the altar of the Islamic State. And what the woman is alleged to have done, attacked customers and staff at a Canadian tire outlet last June with a golf club and large knife and a bow, she vows to attempt again. Speaking through an Arabic interpreter, Scarborough's court on Wednesday morning, through occasionally she proceeds, she also spoke English quite competently. Rahab Dagmash made the declaration. tell her I will always be a supporter of the Islamic State until the last day of my life. If you allow me to go out and leave, I will do exactly what I tried to do the last time and failed. Now, remember, this is who they're bringing back into Europe and Canada with government retraining money and putting them in colleges and sometimes 25-year-olds in high schools saying, your development's arrested. We're going to put you in school with young people to abuse them. Getting a 32-year-old woman to engage with the court has been like moving a mountain of stubbornness and defiance. And it just goes on to all her arrogant statements and how we're going to get you and how we're going to overthrow you. I mean, you know, that's the thing. When people are running around declaring they're going to kill us and overthrow everything, and then the media is defending it and trying to cover it up most of the time, and then they're almost all military-age men. Again, 15 years ago, I thought it was a hoax. When I read stuff by Jihad Watch and others about this, I just thought there's no way that's real. This is the majority view, and it's why I harp on it like a broken record, because it is so incredibly important. And I have stacks of this every day. To an Islamic male who comes from a blue-collar or poor background anywhere in the world, a woman unattended is to be raped because that's how they oppress women, is beating them up or raping them. And then if the woman complains, she gets charged with adultery if she's married, or with having sex out of wedlock or blasphemy, and in many cases is executed. And the man or men who rape them, and I love the left tells us about Western rape culture that's almost non-existent. It's the West that is about treating women well. We get told as Western men that we're the pigs hurting women. And then there's this stinking red carpet of blood rolled out for Linda Sarsour and by the leftist media when her family supports genital mutilation, terror attacks on Israel. Her family is in prison, a bunch of them. She says carry out jihad war in America. And she gets to sit up there and run her filthy, disgusting, slimy mouth, desecrating what's left of America and fomenting war. And when there is more terror attacks, they tell us we've got to kiss the butt, the big old baboon butt of the Islamicist, even more, hoping they won't kill us in mass Stockholm syndrome. Well, your BS hadn't worked on me.
What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com.